It's January 2026 and it's the start of a brand new year, which is my favorite time to sit down and think about the direction that I want life to head over the next 12 months and what are some things that I want to try and achieve and accomplish, one of which is being officially starting the podcast, which I have put off for such a long time. So this is officially episode 1 of Introspection with Luke. You can find it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So I'm excited to be finally taking this step and pursuing the thing that I've thought about doing for a very, very long time. And I thought a very fitting way to kind of start this off and get a bit of a feel for what this is all about is I want to talk about 6 things that I'm focusing on in 2026. Number 1, finding special moments in every day. Life is what you make of it. Find joyous moments in each day and you will live a life of gratitude. The reason that I want to focus on this point is because I think it's important to be able to find special moments in every day. And as much as that sounds cliche, I think there is a massive element of truth in that. And where this idea came from was when I was at Worlds and Kane made a comment about this. And in that environment, we're very much so in a very privileged position to be at Worlds on the other side of the world, representing our country, doing the thing that we love. And it is very easy to find special moments in those instances. I then start to think about, okay, well, what is life if I can only find special moments in the special moments itself that I get to do something so privileged? What about the day to day? And that's where I kind of want to reframe and use a bit of a perspective shift with that thought and that quote around, can I find something special in each and every single day? Which there is and there are those moments. And I think that's the most important thing to kind of focus on. And that's something I definitely want to take moving forward, because I think by doing so, like I said, I will find more gratitude and joy day to day, which is ultimately what you kind of want life to be, that, you know, you can enjoy something so simple as sitting down on a nice morning, having a cup of coffee, and I can still also enjoy being at Worlds with friends, sharing something that we love doing. So I think just finding a bit of a balance with that is the thing that I want to kind of turn my attention towards over the next 12 months, because this year coming up, there are a lot of exciting opportunities, which I am extremely grateful for. I have also worked incredibly hard to get into this position to be able to do these things. Yet it's those in-between moments. Can I find something special? And an example of that is simply, you know, it was January 1st. I was out on a road ride. It was hot. It was windy. I was kind of suffering a little bit, but I was riding along the coast and I thought, how special is this to be out riding my bike in the state that I love along the beach? And I just thought, okay, that's a great moment today. Like today was a good day. And then the more that I can kind of find those moments each day, I think it'll add up to become something quite special. And it's not quite the same as a gratitude journal or perspective. It's more just, what is something special? And it can be something so small and minute, yet I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So that's what I want to focus on moving forward, is find special moments in each day. Number 2, take the leap and dare greatly. To be courageous is to be vulnerable, and to be vulnerable is to be courageous. Which, by and large, what I'm doing right now is exactly that. Taking the leap, officially starting the podcast, putting my thoughts and ideas out there, being vulnerable by sharing these ideas is a way of doing so, and me also being accountable to do the thing that I say to do, because it is a vulnerable thing to kind of sit and share ideas to potentially someone or no one listening at all. However, with that being said, that isn't the metric, and that doesn't matter necessarily if anyone is or isn't watching. It's purely for me and myself, that the reason I'm doing this is for myself, to know that this is something that I've had in my mind, something that I've wanted to do. It's something that I've thought about quite a lot, yet thinking about it and not thinking about it and doing it are two completely different things. And actually taking that step is a step in the direction to know, okay, yes, this is something for me. Yes, this is something I enjoy. Or actually, no, it wasn't something. Therefore, I need to shift and redirect my time and attention. And, you know, if for some instance, if, for example, this does help one person, then fantastic. Then to me, that's worthwhile doing. And I know that the videos and discussions that Kane and I have done in the past, they do help people, and people do watch and listen and pay attention. And I am incredibly grateful for that. And this is just another way of me wanting to kind of express more of my thoughts and opinions, and to share my ideas of, the thoughts that are rattling around in my brain, and some of the stuff that I've written down on my phone, which there is a whole massive amount of it that is being vulnerable in doing so. So I think this is one of the many steps that I will want to take throughout the year. Yet I don't think you can necessarily plan for that, because things might come up in life. There might be decisions that need to be made, whether that's sport, life, personal, professional, and then being able to be courageous in that moment of where you're feeling a bit of uncertainty and angst, and making a decision is where the true magic will lie. So yeah, moving on. Number 3, optimize for subjective feelings. Focus more on subjective inputs rather than objective outcomes. Now, this is a bit of a tricky one, because I wrote in one of my reflections from my life lessons in 2025 was around optimization. And I think optimization is this word and thing that's kind of used day to day and does have a purpose, yet it can be a bit of a tricky game. And the life lesson that I wrote to share with you, to give some context, was optimization is important for performance, but can easily be a slippery slope. As athletes, we are constantly in the pursuit of something, a goal or an outcome, something that can be measured. And if it can be measured, it can be optimized. In the modern world, we optimize everything en route to our goals, from sleep to training numbers. Everything can be optimized within an inch of its life. We start to get hyper-fixated on numbers, to which we begin to tie our self-worth to, and our mood then becomes dependent on whether we hit our metrics or not for a given day. Yet at the completion of a goal, what we feel is an emotion, which is largely subjective. This is something I have seen within myself over the last several months, and I realize I've optimized for the wrong thing, as objective outcomes are largely out of my control. And what I should have been focusing on more is my inputs and effort. Therefore, what I really should be measuring and asking myself is, did I work hard today? Did I have a laugh? Did I have fun? If yes, then today was a success. Learning to focus on what you have direct control over, which is yourself and how you show up. Stacking these good days over the long term will lead to the outcomes you desire. Remember to have fun. We don't get to do this forever. So that was a reflection from last year. And yeah, optimization is important, yet it can be that slippery slope. And I think I'm someone that can kind of very much tie my self-worth in the numbers. And I did do that largely last year as I was preparing for World Championships. I kind of found myself getting hyper-fixated with the numbers and the times, and because I wasn't doing what I wanted to do or what I believed I was capable of doing, I was then not showing up in my best self and my best version. Yet at the end of the day, once we did go and compete, we got the result that we got, where I kind of felt that, I'd lost track of why I had started, I guess, initially in the first place. And I think back to when I was a young kid getting involved and started in sport, and even if you yourself can think of it from when you started something new, you do it because it's fun. And if someone asks you, why did you do it? That's basically your answer. And it's fun. I enjoy it. And it doesn't need any more nuance to that, or nuance than that. And I think that's kind of, the whole high performance thing is I've gone full circle to then get back to the point of starting that, well, why do I do it? It's because it's fun. And I think trying to focus more of my time and attention towards just simply showing up, training hard, working hard, and then having a laugh with my teammates will get better results in the long run, because I will be showing up as a better version of myself. And I think that's the most important thing for myself, is that yes, I can still optimize in certain areas, yet the thing that I should be very much looking and focusing towards is the subjective feeling, which is myself. How am I feeling? How am I showing up? What am I doing? Did I work hard? Those are the main questions. And I think if I can focus on that, I'm going to get larger results. And like I said, I'm going to enjoy things more, which then goes back to the first one of find special moments in every day, that if I can go to training and I can work hard and have a laugh with my teammates, then I've had a great day. The results will come in the long run. So optimize for subjective feelings. Number 4, Being accountable today for myself tomorrow. Intentional use of my time, have a healthy balance of work and play. This just comes back to more of what I was discussing around taking the leap and being courageous is doing the thing. So being accountable today, like I had emotions and thoughts coming up and, met resistance of not wanting to actually film and start and kind of giving myself excuses. And even this version that you're watching isn't the first version that I tried to film. I did film a few times but I still did it. I still went out, I did it, and tomorrow I will be glad that I did it today. So that's the main takeaway, is being intentional, using my time, being accountable to myself for the goals that I have and the aspirations that I have, because I will thank myself. The version of me tomorrow will thank me today for doing this and being courageous and putting myself out there. And the more that I can kind of keep stacking that up, the more it will become easy and more autonomous. And also then just learning to kind of use my time wisely and not procrastinate with other things that I can easily procrastinate myself with. And I think that's where I will see a lot of progression with the journey towards the goals or achieving goals, is just being accountable to me and myself and the aspirations that I have. That's the takeaway there, for being accountable today for myself tomorrow. Moving on, number 5. Curiosity and openness is the way. The more you're willing to open yourself up to life, the more you will be bestowed with lessons and wisdom. Close yourself off and remain stuck in the same place. It's basically just open mindset versus closed mindset, and showing up in a way that is open and curious to the world and not closed off and putting the blinkers up and not necessarily paying attention to everything. And I think that's where I do my best work, hence the name Introspection with Luke for the podcast. Is a lot of this comes from me thinking deeply about things and seeing the world in a different way, and being willing and open and vulnerable to put myself out there, but also put myself in someone else's shoes or someone else's perspective and kind of understand their world so I can then understand my world better. That's where that openness and curiosity kind of comes from, is that it's not just to the world, it's also within myself. Like why am I the way that I am? What makes me tick? What makes me think this way? Being curious about myself, and then curious about how I interact in the world and with other people, and then having that reflection or introspection as well to kind of think, how did I interact in that conversation, and how did I feel today, when I was coaching, or how did I feel when I was at training? How did I show up when I was at training? And just being open to the ideas of potentially changing, or not potentially, but definitely changing, but then taking on other people's ideas and other people's perceptions and feedback that they might have. And I think that's where the beauty of life is the more you are open and have the growth mindset, the more you will grow and evolve. And for me, that's something I very much value and hold in high regard, is learning and education, and then also then passing that on. And something that I've discussed before, and particularly a lot with Kane, is around victim mindset and victim mentality. And I think, when you close yourself off, you are choosing to stay stuck in the same place. You are not willing to open up and be curious about whatever instances or circumstances kind of arise. You're choosing to play that narrative that I want to be stuck in this way. And that's not something that I kind of align with. And I don't, I don't see that as a way forward for myself in terms of where I want to get to and what I want to try to achieve. It's very much be open-minded, be curious, and life will open itself up to you. All right, moving on. Last one, number 6, give outwardly. A smile to a stranger, a pillar of support for a colleague, a random text to a friend when you think of them. Give more than you take, and you'll be a better human for it. Again, it's more in line with openness and curiosity. I always feel better when I give to others as opposed to take. Yeah, it's a special thing to be able to kind of give to other people. And me doing this podcast is also another example of that, is giving and sharing my ideas that I have accrued over the many years of life. And I know that some of the young kids that I coach do listen and watch, and they do value what I have to say. So by me doing this is a way of giving to others and helping out them. It's also for myself. Like I enjoy sharing and expressing my thoughts and ideas, and it does make me feel better. I also think just being kind to everybody in life as well, give what you wish to receive. I think the more you can kind of do that, the more life will continue to kind of give that back towards you. yeah, so it's very straightforward, very simple. It's just be nice. Be a nice person, be kind, give outwardly, and life will give stuff back to you. So that's it. That's 6 things I'm focusing on. And I'm sure there's a bit of a theme. You can kind of start to see that a lot of it is intertwined and interlinked with one another. But basically, it's about being courageous, finding joy in every single day, giving outwardly, and being accountable. And I think, yeah, if I can focus on those 6 things, I think this year will be a very, very, very good year. So they're basically the 6 things I'm focusing on this year. I can't think of anything else to say. Thank you for listening and watching. I'll see you in the next episode.